faculty members of Banasthali Vidyapeeth. We are extremely proud of hosting this 8th lecture series in memory of late Shri N.M. Ranka Sahab. And we have amongst us one of the best legal luminaries ever produced in India. I've had the opportunity of hearing Sir earlier at Manipal University. It appeared that Sir's lecture just touches upon like a divinity being like a divinity being speaking. Friends, most of you know late Dr. N.M. Ranka Sahab. He was a person who always believed in continuous education. In his memory, this lecture series has been initiated and we have got extraordinarily brilliant response from all the stakeholders. This series is being hosted today in collaboration with Banasthali Vidyapeeth and Rajasthan Education Trust, Premier Trust, incorporated in the memory of late Shri C.L. Agarwal. As far as Ranka Public Charitable Trust, the trust was created in 1980, and primarily it revolves about Gandhian philosophy, keeping in mind the Gandhian philosophy. It has adopted care of their entire needs. Needless to say, right now, because of the COVID protocols, the school is not functioning. Apart from that, Trust sponsors various seminars and conferences and also awards Best Tax Conference Awards under the banner of All India Federation of Tax Practitioners. It has distributed about 25,000 copies of various books authored by late Dr. N.M. Ranka Sahab, primary amongst which is Law Profession, My Experience and Expectation, Vital Role of Constitution in Women Empowerment, Glimpses of Gandhian Philosophy, Rani Palkiwala, A Living Legend, Power Excellence, Constitutional Perception of Fundamental Duties, Be a Perfect Person, Build the Nation. Late Dr. N.M. Ranka Sahab was one of the most pioneer persons to promote moot court competition in Rajasthan state. The trust, in collaboration with various law colleges, is being organizing various moot court competitions now for more than a decade. And it has received extraordinarily good response, not only nationally, but internationally as well. The trust undertakes to provide scholarship to various needy persons, depending on their needs, and also provide medical and other facilities from time to time. Sir, it's an honor to have you amongst us, and it's a privilege for each one of us who's present today, listening to you. I am extremely grateful for all the persons who are present today to give their time for us. Thank you very much. Back to you, Parth. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth sir, for your kind word. We acknowledge each and every word and have witnessed it all it by ourselves. So now I would like to invite I would like to invite Professor Harsh Purohit sir, who is Dean of Faculty of Law, Banasthali University, to give a welcome address on behalf of the Department of Legal Studies, Banasthali Vidyapeeth. Sir, may we please have you?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Om Dhyan Moolam Guru Murti, Puja Moolam Guru Padam, Mantra Moolam Guru Vakyam, Moksha Moolam Guru Krapa. On behalf of Banasthali Vidyapeeth, the world's largest residential university for women's education, and its Faculty of Law, which is India's largest all-women law school, we are delighted that Honorable Justice J.K. Ranka Sahab has made us the part of this memorial lecture. And indeed, the Dr. N.M. Ranka Memorial Lecture is a delight for everyone who is attending this session right now. On the behalf of university, we would like to accord our highest of gratitude to Honorable Justice R.C. Lahoti Sahab, former Chief Justice of India, who has been serving the legal profession for 6 decades. And it is so good to have Honorable Justice V.S. Dave Sahib, our well-wisher and former judge of Rajasthan High Court and chairman of Rajasthan Law Commission. And he is an institution builder. So what a delight that he's there with us. And also, we are grateful that Honorable Justice J.K. Raka Sahab, former judge, Rajasthan High Court, and held several prestigious offices like President of Tax Consultant Association, has made it possible for our students to join this session. So on behalf of our university, all the legal luminaries present over here, we appreciate and convey our gratitude and convey them the best of health. Justice Pana Singh Jain Saab, Justice Deepak Trivedi ji, and others, on the behalf of university, we convey our gratitude. And we are hopeful that in this way we have made a start, and in the time to come, we can have more such programs which can promote legal education. Once again, thanking everyone, especially Honorable Justice J.K. Raka Sahab, and also our senior colleague, Professor Anil Mehta ji, who made it possible to coordinate and ensure that we could do this session. Thank you very much.
Come here.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. We really acknowledge and support which the Banasal University has given us, the enthusiasm of students, the faculty members, and our respected deans and everyone. So by this, I would now like to invite Honorable Justice Mr. N.M. J.K. Ranga, sir, to speak keywords about the topic. May we please have you, sir?
Thank you, Megha. Most Honorable Mr. Justice R.C. Lahoti, sir, former Chief Justice of India and Chief Guest and keynote speaker of the day. Honorable Mr. Justice V.S. Dave uncle, former judge and trustee of Rajasthan Education Trust. Professor Harsh Purohit ji, Dean Banasthali Vidyapeeth. Dr. Anil Mehta, my friend, Professor at Banasthali Vidyapeeth. Megha, Parth, Siddharth, Chambhav, my mother, and family members of my family, students from all parts of the country. And I could locate Honorable Mr. Justice Deepak Verma, former Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Panachandji Jain, former Judge, Rajasthan High Court, Honorable Mr. Justice H.N. Bhargav Saab, Chief Justice, Sikkim High Court, Justice D.K. Trivedi from Gujarat, Professor Bhanavat ji, Professor Bissa, Shri B. Bissa ji, Senior Retired IAS Officers, Premlata Bansal ji, former President of All India Federation, and so many people from walks of life. Indeed, it's a great pleasure that we have one of the finest orator in Honorable Mr. Justice R.C. Lahoti, sir. Not only a very good orator, because I have had the pleasure of hearing him on many occasions, not only in Jaipur, but elsewhere also, at Byawar also. And of course, I remember the day when he unveiled the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, which was installed by our trust at Guna when he was in Supreme Court. The fond memories with Justice R.C. Lahoti sir and the closeness with the family and my late father. He was one of the finest Chief Justice of India, and what a tribute and pleasure that students would be hearing Honorable Justice R.C. Lahoti sir. Even at this age, he is so active, and the students must have noticed, and I too also noticed an article written today itself in the Indian Express. What a wonderful article has been written by Justice R.C. Lahoti sir on the three wings of judiciary, executive, and legislature. What balance should be maintained. In limited words, he has given the key, key words to all the three institutions. I'm happy he's with us. And when I requested him and conveyed that it is for the benefit of the students, he readily accepted and agreed. And so, great. Thank you, sir. So nice of you. Justice Dave uncle, as always, has been a family friend and guide, and always inspiring me to do something for the students. And that's why he readily agreed that, yes, go ahead. And since we are together in Rajasthan Education Trust, which was founded by Shri C.L. Agarwal Sahab, and now headed by Honorable Justice S.C. Agarwal Sahab, former Judge, Supreme Court of India. That's why Rajasthan Education Trust is joining hands with us. And thank you, Professor Purohit, and my friend Anil, that Banasthali Vidyapeeth agreed to join in our endeavor to shape the future of students, which would be budding lawyers in times to come and would be judges in their own right. Well, when luminaries are there, Justice Lahoti Sahab is there, Justice Dave Sahab is there, Panachand is there. I cannot say anything about law, but simply to say that law is a subject which is an ocean in itself. You dip in and you continue to find many things once you read the subject, once you read the law or statutes and other things in the Constitution or otherwise, and you gain something different whenever you come out of it. And law is a subject which needs constant study, and the students, I must tell you that you have the right spirit, and once you study hard, you will certainly come out with flying colors. You are the future advocates, you are future judges, and all my good wishes. And with these limited words, because so many speakers are there, I end my speech with thanking once again Justice Lahoti Sahab, Justice Dave Sahab, and all dignitaries of whom I have mentioned earlier. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. We genuinely feel honored to have such enthusiasm between our speakers, between attenders, between the respected faculty members who have joined, between the respective authorities who have joined and came their hands in the hard work of the webinar. Now, by proceeding our webinar further, I would like to invite Honorable Mr. Justice V.S. Dave, who is former judge of Rajasthan High Court and former. The list of credentials which sir have cannot be.
Okay, forward करें.
What a great day. Justice Lahoti Sahab, brother Justice Lahoti and Justice brother Deepak Verma, both from Madhya Pradesh, whom I know from the days they were at the bar and then in Supreme Court, and now today before me on the screen. It's a great fortune for me that I'm meeting them, of course, virtually. I am beholden to JK for providing space to Rajasthan Education Trust, founded by Charanjilal Agarwal, to be a part of this N.M. Ranka Charitable Trust Memorial Lectures. I have immense pleasure in welcoming all of you. And today's speaker, Sri Lahoti Sahab. If I am not mistaken, I know him from the days when he used to come from Madhya Pradesh to Delhi and stay with Saubhagmal Jain, a great friend of mine who later on became the judge of the Rajasthan High Court. And then he had been my president in the Association of the Retired Judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. And I had the pleasure to be his vice president at that particular time. He has great qualities, both as a judge and as a human being. He is an excellent human being. De Tocqueville had once said, by birth and interest, lawyers belong to the people. By habit and taste, they belong to aristocracy. They are looked upon as the natural bonds and the connecting link between the two great classes of the society. They are attached to the public order beyond every other consideration. If they prize the free institution, their country much their value, the legality of these institutions. And he has upheld the same, as it is also clear from what Justice Ranka also said. Early morning at 5:30, when I took Indian Express, I found this photograph and then the article. And what he has said in that article, that judicial activism, however liberally interpreted, would be counterproductive and would fail in achieving its laudable purpose if it assumes the role of judicial governance. It is one thing to direct the executive to perform. It is another to say, if you do not do, we will do it ourselves. It is he alone who can have said it. It's a great message to the present judges in all the high courts as well as the Supreme Court, that they should not use the language which is intemperate sometimes, and they themselves have to say about it. I do not want to come in between Lahoti Saab and you all, because you will be hearing a great speaker. वो बहुत सारे शेयर आपको सुनाएंगे बीच बीच में, and I have not heard a parallel man like this. But inspired by him in advance, I am persuaded to tell you that when my grandchildren come, they always talk of this Google and WhatsApp and all. I tell them that however brilliant and however knowledgeable you may be, but you have to share experience from the elders in order to become wisdom personified. You cannot have the wisdom unless your knowledge is blended with it. तो मुझे एक शेर याद आता है, लाहौटी साहब हैं इसलिए कर रहा हूँ, उदय प्रताप सिंह का, कि पुरानी कश्ती को पार लेकर फकत मेरा हुनर गया है, नए कहीं ये न समझे कि नदी का पानी उतर गया. So I tell them that you can still consult us on any aspect of the matter so that you become wisdom personified. I'm again thankful to the Ranka Charitable Trust for giving me the space. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justice V.S. Davi, sir. We really understand and know the importance of wisdom, and the understanding of wisdom is very lack in people. So with now, I would like to invite our guest speaker for today's webinar, which is R.C. Lohati, sir. So when we speak about the credentials of R.C. Lohati, sir, as already being told by J.K. and Honorable Justice J.K. Ranka, sir, but there are few credentials which I just wanted to point it out in our webinar, which are, he was enrolled as an advocate in 1961. During 1961 and 1977, sir practiced in district court regarding the cases of criminal and civil. In 1978 to 88, he practiced in High Court, including matters criminal, commercial, and constitutional matters. Our respected Justice Sir was former judge in High Court, Madhya Pradesh during 1988 to 1994, then in High Court of Delhi during 1994 to 1998. Then in Supreme Court of India during 1998 to 2004. We were honored to have Honorable Justice Mr. R.C. Lohati, sir, as our Chief Justice of India during 2004 and 2005. Apart from this, we have seen a lot of academic development of sir, which is being done by sir and whatnot, from understanding and telling students about the important topics of law to to understanding the judgments which are being given by. Sir have given us all. So would now like to invite Honorable Mr. Justice R.C. Lohati, sir, to speak about the topic and enlighten us. May we please have you, sir.
Yes. Honorable Justice Ranka Sahib, Professor Harsh Purohit ji, Justice Panachand ji, Justice Dave Sahab, Bhargav Sahab, all honorable judges, whom I can see and whom I cannot, maybe. Dear Megha, Siddharth, I am indeed today very happy to find myself amongst such persons who have been my friends and from whom I have learned a lot. Justice S.N. Bhargav Sahib is present today. It is very interesting to tell you that at one time he used to be my governor. I was a member of Rotary and Justice S.N. Bhargav was governor of Rotary. So I can say with pleasure that at one time he used to be my governor. Well, I am especially happy that I have been invited to address the young students, boys and girls, as my inquiry has revealed and told me that some of these students are just joining the law, commencing their studies, and some of them have spent quite a few years in the law schools, maybe 3 years, 4 years, some are in the 5th year as well. Vega, I am told, is in 5th year. So it's a good mix of the students. And I like to share some of my experiences, some of the things which I have learned. Before I commence, Justice Dave Sahab has given me some liberty and rather instigated me to give some response to him. I may recite a couplet either in Urdu or Hindi, but certainly I would like, क्योंकि मैं किसी का उधार नहीं रखता, यदि किसी से लिया है तो वही चुका देना अच्छा रहता है. Just see, I was just introduced. I was told, and this is very often I have to hear, that still at this age, he continues to be active. I appreciate the pun or the satire which is therein. And I tell myself that if you are expected not to be active, but continue to be active, it means that you are defective. So in a way, yet to be invited to address the students is certainly a matter of pleasure for me. Friends, why I feel very happy today that I am addressing so many students. These are times of Corona when we can't meet. We can just see each other, and that too virtually. I am reminded of a couplet by Bihari. He has said that काको सुख नहीं होत है बढ़त देख निज गोत और ज्यों बड़री आँखियाँ निरख आँखियाँ न कहूँ सुख होत. If you find that your clan is increasing, your community is expanding, you feel really happy in the same way as large eyes feel happy to see other large eyes. So many students are coming up, joining in the law, and I get an opportunity of interacting with them is really a matter of pleasure for me. I really feel very happy and very delighted. I am very thankful to Shri Raka Sahab, the Raka Trust, and the Vanasthali Vidyapeeth for giving me this opportunity of addressing the students. Now, my dear students, you are a student. That itself means that you are a seeker of knowledge. You want to learn the law. Law, it is said, is an unfathomable sea. ऐसा समंदर है कि जिसकी कोई तह नहीं है. ऐसा समंदर है कानून. Now you have chosen to study the law. It means You are a good swimmer, you are a good diver, and you can go to any depth in search of the jewels which lie at the floor of the ocean. Any seeker of knowledge is accompanied by 4 assistants. Who are those 4 assistants? The 4 assistants are why, what, where, and how. I repeat, every seeker of knowledge is accompanied by 4 assistants. Why, what, where, how. He keeps on asking these 4 questions to himself and to everyone who proposes to teach or make him learn. And that's how his journey goes on. Today, out of these 4, we will deal with 2, the first and the last, that is why and how. Friends, throughout your schooling, you will learn the what and where. What and where your teachers will tell you. Let me confine myself to why and how. You have joined the law. Why? Have you ever asked a question to yourself? If you have, it's good. If you have not, then today, this evening or tomorrow morning, I request you to sit down calmly for a few minutes and ask a question, put a question to yourself. Why have you voluntarily chosen law as your career? Presently study and subsequently your career. And why should you ask this question? I am reminded of a very beautiful anecdote from Justice Holmes. Justice Holmes in his autobiography is quoted that one Justice Holmes was traveling in a train. He had purchased a ticket, but old busy person, he put the ticket in his pocket and forgot about it. Then came the ticket checker and he started checking the tickets. Justice Holmes started searching for the ticket, sometimes this pocket, sometimes that pocket, pant pocket, coat pocket, shirt pocket. The ticket checker knew Justice Holmes and told Justice Holmes, "Sir, you need not search for the ticket. I know you are a person who would never travel without a ticket. And I have tick marked that you have a ticket and I have checked your ticket." Justice Holmes smiled and told the ticket checker, "Dear friend, you might have done your job without the ticket being shown to you. But my friend, unless I see my ticket, how do I know where I am going?" So friends, where you are going, that you must know, and this you can by sitting with yourself, all by yourself, and asking yourself a question, why you have chosen to study law and take up later law as a career. Whatever may be your answer, but I can read your subconscious mind. There are several things which must have entered your subconscious when you chose to join a law school. And let me recall them one by one. Possibly you know, but you may not know them consciously, and it would be good to recall them consciously. There are many professions in law. There are many professions in the world. But every profession has got an uncertainty about it. कभी धंधा चलता है, कभी मंदा हो जाता है. कोई इंडस्ट्री, कभी उसके प्रोडक्ट की डिमांड बहुत बढ़ जाती है, कभी घट जाती है. But friends, law is an exception. आप देखिए, आज कोविड के टाइम में ऐसा लगता है कि दुनिया ठहर गई है. पर दुनिया ठहर तो गई है, पर दो चीजें आज भी चालू हैं, और वो हैं अस्पताल और अदालत. The hospital and the courts are still functioning. तो कानून एक ऐसा धंधा है कि जिसमें कभी मंदी नहीं आती. दुनिया ठहर भी जाए तो भी वकील की वकालत चलती रहती है. इसलिए लॉ पढ़ना और सब धंधों से ज्यादा अच्छा है. एक. दूसरी बात, लॉ, बीइंग ए लॉयर gives you status and prestige. जरा मैं इसको एक विनोद की भाषा में कहूंगा. आप किसी दुकानदार को कह सकते हैं अरे ये कोई सेठ है या बनिया है. आप किसी उद्योगपति को देख करके कह सकते हैं अरे ये तो फैक्ट्री चलाता है. बट जब किसी वकील का जिक्र होगा तो कहा जाएगा, कोई पूछेगा ये कौन है, तो जवाब आएगा कि वकील साहब हैं. A lawyer would always be addressed with some salutation, and he commands status and prestige in the society because he is indispensable to the society. Next, if you have taken up the law, you are destined to be a leader of the society. If you go back into the history of freedom fight, you will find that all the well-known names, Gandhi, Nehru, Patel, Rajendra Prasad, they were all lawyers who led the freedom fight of the nation. They were all leaders, and the leaders continue, and the lawyers continue to be leaders in the society. Friends, here I will give you some advice also. When you become a successful lawyer, do come in politics also. I committed that mistake, and I want you to learn from my mistake. Please do come in politics. आज जो आपको राजनीति में गंदगी नजर आ रही है, वो सिर्फ इसलिए नजर आ रही है कि वकीलों ने राजनीति में प्रवेश लेना छोड़ दिया है. जब तक राजनीति में नेतृत्व वकील समुदाय के पास रहा, तब तक राजनीति शुद्ध रही और राजनीति करने में आनंद आता रहा. Parliament and Legislative Assembly debates were a pleasure to listen. It was a charm to the eyes and to the ears. But ever since the lawyers have stopped coming to the politics, what happens in Parliament and Legislature as telecast, you all know, I need not tell you. Again, even if you are not a leader, you will be a good citizen. You know what are your rights, what are your duties. When you open the book of Constitution, the 4 words, which are the foundation of all religions of the world, you learn from the preface of the Constitution: justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. संपूर्ण मानवता का धर्म, चाहे वो आप क्रिश्चियनिटी ले लीजिए, इस्लाम ले लीजिए, हिंदू धर्म ले लीजिए, बौद्ध, जैन, कोई धर्म ले लीजिए, इन सारे धर्मों का सार भारतीय संविधान की उद्देशिका में निहित है, जहां जस्टिस, लिबर्टी, इक्वालिटी और फ्रेटर्निटी इन शब्दों का प्रयोग किया गया है. रीड आर्टिकल 51A of the Constitution. Suppose you were to ask me a question, what is the definition of being a good citizen? I will tell you, my simple answer would be, please read Article 51A of the Constitution. राका साहब जैन हैं, पानाचंद जी बैठे हुए हैं, जैन धर्म का पूर्णता पालन करते हैं. जैन, हमारे जैन बंधुओं में एक त्योहार मनाया जाता है जिसे कहते हैं 10 लक्षण पर्व. सारे जैन धर्म का सार 10 लक्षण पर्व में दृष्टिगत होता है. ये जो 10 लक्षण हैं, अच्छे नागरिक के 10 लक्षण संविधान के अनुच्छेद 51 का में लिखे हुए हैं। आज ही आप 51 का पढ़िए, 1 मिनट में आपको पता लग जाएगा कि एक अच्छे नागरिक से संविधान की अपेक्षा क्या है। आगे चलते हैं। कानून की पढ़ाई वे लोग करना पसंद करते हैं जो सर्च और रिसर्च में विश्वास रखते हैं। मैंने आपको कहा, लॉ इज एन अनफेथमेबल सी। कितना भी खोजते चले जाइए, जितना गहरे में जाएंगे उतना ही कुछ आपको मिलता चला जाएगा। और इसलिए दवे साहब को एक शेर भेंट करना चाहता हूं कि कानून के लिए ये बहुत मौजू है। कहा गया है कि जरा दरिया की तह तक तू पहुंच जाने की हिम्मत कर, समुद्र की गहराई में पहुंचने की हिम्मत कर, डर मत। जरा दरिया की तह तक तू पहुंच जाने की हिम्मत कर, तो फिर ऐ डूबने वाले किनारा ही किनारा है। जो समुद्र की गहराई में उतर जाता है और गहराई में पहुंच जाता है, वही किनारे पर निकलने का अधिकारी होता है। इसलिए कानून एक ऐसा विषय है कि इसमें जितनी गहराई में जाएंगे उतने ही उभर करके आप ऊपर आएंगे और औरों से ऊपर बढ़ने की क्षमता आप में पैदा होती चली जाएगी। कानून, द स्टडी ऑफ लॉ and practice as a lawyer sharpens your wits. आप में हाजिर जवाबी की कला का विकास होता है वकालत करने से। In most difficult situations, howsoever embarrassing it may be, we are faced with the best of the lawyer on the opposite side, and howsoever well he may argue, you are prepared with the answer. You never feel diffident or defied. आपको लगता है कि कितनी अच्छी बहस करे, इसका जवाब मेरे पास मौजूद है। ये आत्मविश्वास वकालत में जागृत होता है। फिर देखिए आप तजुर्बा। ऐसा कहा जाता है कि ठोकर खा करके आदमी सीखता है, यानी जो आदमी ठोकर खाता है वो सीखता है। पर वकालत का एक मजा ये है कि ठोकर कोई दूसरा खाता है और सीखते हम हैं। ये सिर्फ वकालत में मिलेगा आपको। क्यों? एज ए लॉयर, एवरी नेक्स्ट केस विच कम्स टू यू इज द स्टोरी ऑफ सफरिंग, हैपनिंग और मिसहैपनिंग ऑफ समवन। He narrates your story and requests you to help. Every day, when you hear the story of someone, the circumstances under which he has undergone, the mishap which he has suffered, this misfortune which he has been called upon to face, he narrates the story, and you learn the lesson or moral of the story. So, in short, why the lawyer becomes the most knowledgeable man of the society? The reason is every day he comes across 5-10 stories wherefrom he can learn everything, and the litigant goes on describing his troubles to him, and he goes on learning from what his client has undergone. Then, law also makes you a man of religion. धर्म, यहां धर्म से मेरा आशा हुई नहीं कि हिंदू धर्म, मुसलमान धर्म, क्रिश्चियन धर्म, नहीं। धर्म का जो अर्थ है वो है सत्य की खोज। दो तरह से कानून आपको धार्मिक बनाने में आपकी मदद करता है। Number 1, when you keep on searching the knowledge, you are developing a spiritual bent of mind. One. And the other way, all the students of law know that our religious scriptures are also one source of law. They are source of law. मनुस्मृति में जो लिखा है, कुरान शरीफ में जो लिखा है, ये सब कानून का स्रोत हैं, इनसे कानून निकाला जाता है. And therefore, while studying law, you get connected with the religious books, the religious epics, and the religion itself. And therefore, what a person aims at the end of his life is the liberation or salvation. Law, a profession which, if practiced with all dedication, would enable you to reach liberation or salvation at the end of your career. If, as a lawyer, you serve your client to the best of your ability and conscience, if, as a judge, you are true to your oath, then, friends, believe me, that practicing the law, you can reach the stage of liberation and salvation. So, my dear young friends, these are some of the reasons why one takes up the study of law, or why one should take up the study of law, or what a person stands to gain by studying the law wittingly or unwittingly. I hope that having listened to me and the angle from which I look at the study of law, you would probably feel now more interested in reading the law than what possibly you could otherwise have been. Now, let us take the help of the other assistant of a seeker of knowledge, and that is how. Why we have dealt with, now let us see how. I want to give you a few tips, some of which you know, some of which possibly you may not know. But one thing certain, that these tips which I am going to give to you, you will not find them in any book to pick up, to read. These are based purely on experience. Let me very candidly share with you what I was and what I ultimately became. I was extremely mediocre as a student. I was just an average student, you can say a second class student, invariably. My initial schooling was all in a government school. I was not a person born with golden spoons in mouth. I did not have schooling in a very good school or college, but having slowly, firmly study but firm, I did my graduation. For my graduation, I went to Bombay. It's a matter of chance, and that's a different story. I happened to go to Bombay from a small place like Guna. And thereafter, I joined the Holkar College for doing the law. In law, I stood first class first in the university and was awarded a gold medal at the auspicious hands of Dr. Radhakrishnan, the then President of India. अब ये जो कहानी है कि एक मीडियोकर, एक औसत दर्जे के सामान्य विद्यार्थी से यात्रा शुरू करके मामूली किस्म के सरकारी स्कूल में पढ़ते हुए लॉ में पहुंचना, सारी पढ़ाई इंटरमीडिएट तक हिंदी में थी, लॉ की सारी पढ़ाई अंग्रेजी में, हिंदी से अंग्रेजी मीडियम पर स्विच ओवर होना, और फिर लॉ में एक गोल्ड मेडल भी मिलना, ये सब कैसे संभव हुआ, ये सीक्रेट मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ। और मैं चाहता हूँ कि मुझे सुनने के बाद जो विद्यार्थी मुझे सुन रहे हैं, उनमें से हर एक को एक गोल्ड मेडल मिले, ये मेरी दिली इच्छा है। पहली बात, those who want to study the law, they must first of all understand that law is not a difficult subject. Law is in a way easiest of all these subjects. Why? You had just mentioned that late N.M. Ranka Sahab, senior advocate, has written his autobiography, and the name of the book is Law Profession, My Experiences and Expectations. You must read this book, must read. बड़ी सरल भाषा में एक मेहनतकश इंसान की कहानी है कि उसने जीवन में सफलता, यश और समृद्धि का अर्जन कैसे किया। पर अभी मैं जो जिक्र करना चाहता हूं वो ये है, the entire book begins with the first sentence, which is, law is nothing but codified common sense. The first sentence of the book, कानून कुछ नहीं है, एक लिखा हुआ कोडिफाइड कॉमन सेंस है। तो कोडिफाइड कॉमन सेंस तो हम सबके पास है। तो कॉमन सेंस को यदि पढ़ना भी पड़े तो उसमें कौन सी बड़ी भारी परेशानी की बात है। इसलिए कानून बहुत सरल है, पर वो कानून को पढ़ने की प्रक्रिया है, उसका अनुसरण करना चाहिए। पहली बात, रीड एंड रिपीट। जो आप पढ़ें उसे दोहराएं। Why I say so? This can be true of all the subjects, but why particularly about law? My experience as a student of law, as a judge of the High Court, as a judge of the Supreme Court, and even today, it is. And friends, let me tell you, though I have taken courage to speak before you, but even today, I am myself a student of law. I am still learning the law. And I am speaking before you and summing up these principles so that I can better learn the law at this stage of life. So, read and repeat. And I learned this thing from my father, who was also a great lawyer. Whenever I would draft any plaint, or whenever I would go to argue a case, suppose a specific relief act, I would tell my father that I'm going to argue this matter, specific relief act, and section 16 and 20 are relevant, and there are 3 decided cases which I have picked up. My father would ask me, have you read section 16? Have you read section 20? Have you read the 3 judgments which you are going to cite? I would tell my father, पिताजी मैंने 10 बार तो पढ़ लिया ये सब। मुझे वो कहते थे कि नहीं, आज इस केस की सुनवाई है ना, इन दोनों कानून की धाराओं को और तीनों हाई कोर्ट के फैसलों को एक बार फिर पढ़ो। कभी कभी मुझे चिढ़ आती थी कि क्यों इतना जिद करते हैं, बट लेटर ऑन आई फाउंड दैट व्हेनेवर आई रेड इट द सेकंड टाइम, आई फाउंड some new meaning, something new emerging therefrom. Therefore, law you should read and repeat, read and reread. One question here arises, should you cram something? रटना चाहिए कुछ? हाँ, law में I would say yes. You learn the law, but there are a few things which you shall have to learn by heart. I tell you, you just look, I will give you a illustration only. The three acts, Evidence Act, Transfer Property Act, and Indian Penal Code. All the definitions which are given in these laws, Evidence Act was enacted in the year 1872. More than 150 years have passed, but nobody has been able to change a comma or full stop therein. late Justice P.R. Sharma was my professor in law, and he told one day in the classroom that one of the reasons for my success in the profession has been my capacity to quote various provisions of Evidence Act and Penal Code from my memory. Without opening the book, he would just quote different sections as written, as found printed in the book. This impressed the judges very much. So he said that certain sections you must learn by heart, and always remember, never feel diffident. ये मत सोचिए, कभी कभी आपको लगेगा कि कानून की भाषा कितनी क्लिष्ट है, ऐसा कभी मत सोचिए। अपने आप पर भरोसा रखिए और उन दो पंक्तियों को याद रखिए कि करत करत अभ्यास ते जड़मति होत सुजान और रसरी आवत जात ते सिर पर परत निशान। जितना आप दोहराते रहेंगे, जितना आप याद करते रहेंगे, उतना ही कानून सरल होता चला जाएगा। दूसरी बात, नोट्स बनाइए। मैं नोट्स बनाता था और मैं आपको बताता हूं कि मेरे नोट्स इतने अच्छे होते थे कि जब एग्जामिनेशन आता था तो मुझे किताब पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं आती थी। मेरे नोट्स पढ़ने से मेरा सारा रिवीजन हो जाया करता था। मेरे पास मेरे बुक रैक में, बुक शेल्फ में जितनी जगह में किताबें रहती थी, उससे ज्यादा जगह में मेरी नोटबुक्स रहा करती थी। एग्जॉस्टिव नोट्स में बनाता था और एग्जामिनेशन में मैं सिर्फ अपने नोट्स पढ़ता था, किताब नहीं पढ़ता था। इसलिए नोट्स बनाइए। देन थर्ड, whenever you come across a proposition, you try to explain it by giving an illustration. कोई भी समस्या आए, उस समस्या के लिए एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए कोई उदाहरण का सहारा लीजिए। मैं आपको लेजिस्लेशन की बात बताता हूं और मेरी बात सुनने के बाद जब आप देखेंगे तो आप उसे मानेंगे। जितने भी इंग्लिश एक्ट्स हैं, इंग्लिश एक्ट्स, उन सारे एक्ट्स में हर सेक्शन के नीचे इलस्ट्रेशंस दिए हुए हैं और ये इलस्ट्रेशन जीपी सिंह की इंटरनेशनल फेम की इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ स्टैट्यूट्स की बुक में लिखा है, द इलस्ट्रेशंस आर रेलेवेंट एंड वैल्यूएबल गाइड टू द इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ द स्टैट्यूट। जब आप कानून का कोई सेक्शन पढ़ते हैं, उसके नीचे उसके इलस्ट्रेशंस पढ़ते हैं, तो कानून के उस धारा का अर्थ क्या है ये स्पष्ट हो जाता है। सेक्शन 114 of the Evidence Act, when you study it and you come to practice, you'll find again under every illustration given under section 114 of the Evidence Act, a lot of law is developed. Section 114 illustration A, 114 illustration E, 114 illustration G, हम लोग जब कोर्ट में जाते हैं तो हर दिन इनको साइट करते हैं। Lot of law has developed around the illustrations, so illustrations are as important as the section itself, though they cannot override the express enactment contained in the particular section. But all that I wish to say is that illustration is the easiest way of grasping and explaining a proposition of law. Then fourth, make a habit of preparing comparative tables. Now, what is comparative tables? While studying law, you come across similar propositions. Whenever you come across a similar proposition, just pick up your notebook, pick up a pencil or pen, divide the page into 2 columns, write 2 propositions and prepare what are the common features and what are the distinguishing features. For example, suppose in the Contract Act you are reading agreement and contract. Now, what is an agreement and what is a contract? Open the page of the notebook. On left hand, write agreement, right hand, write contract, and then, having read the definition of agreement and contract, write what are the ingredients of agreement, what are the ingredients of contract, and when an agreement becomes a contract. Culpable homicide and murder, Penal Code, Section 302, 304. That case, it was a leading case prescribed, and I still remember it, Rag versus Govinda. In that case, how beautifully the Privy Council brought out the distinction between culpable homicide and murder. Prepare a table and write the ingredients of culpable homicide and write on the other side the ingredients of murder, and the whole concept when the culpable homicide amounts to murder and when the culpable homicide does not amount to murder. Hurt and assault. What is hurt? What is an assault? Just prepare a table and write the ingredients of the two offenses. The concept will become clear to you. So develop the habit of making comparative tables of similar topics. आपको वो सब्जेक्ट आपके माइंड में इतना क्लियर हो जाएगा कि आपको कभी उसके विषय में कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहेगा. Then the professors, teachers, they give you the lectures. उन्होंने अपना काम किया, आपको समझाया और चले गए. कुछ प्रोफेसर बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, आप उनके पास डिफिकल्टीज लेकर के जाते हैं, वो आपकी डिफिकल्टीज सॉल्व भी कर देते हैं. बट मैं आपसे ये कहूंगा, नेवर, ऑफ कोर्स आई वोंट से नेवर, बट एज फार एज पॉसिबल go to your teacher only when it is absolutely necessary. But then the question would arise, how do you solve your problems? I tell you what you do it. Suppose there are 50 or 100 students in your class. You make small groups of 5 to 10 students. And apart from the college or school time, you sit in the groups. In every group, you give the topic. That look here, our professor today taught us, say, the definition of consideration. Section 2D of the Contract Act. But there are few aspects of considerations which are not very clear to me. So your friend would ask you, what is not clear to you? Tell him. Don't conceal your ignorance. Tell him. Now, having told this, let this group, each member of the group, go back to home, study what is consideration, what is the definition of consideration, what are its ingredients. And thereafter, in your next meeting, for 1 hour, you discuss consideration threadbare. Believe me, this internal discussion of the students, amongst the students in a group, will make the proposition to you more clear than what your professor would do. So what your teacher could do, he has done in the classroom. But then if you want to go deeper into any subject, then collect in small groups and then have discussions. Then you must have good memory, sharp intellect, and then communication skills. This is very important. These communication skills here, with respect, I like to address the teachers also on this topic. See, what is, in a lighter way, I would like to say, whenever you are talking to someone, there are 2 aspects of every conversation. They are, क्या कहा और क्या समझे. मैंने आपसे कुछ कहा, मैंने तो कह दिया. What is important is not what I said. The more important is what you have understood. A teacher may deliver an incessant lecture full of learning, classical, academic, for 45 minutes in a classroom. But more important is what the students have understood. Therefore, communication skill is very important. When you become a lawyer, you may argue, you may have a good vocabulary, you may have eloquence, you may go on speaking for hours, addressing the judge. इस बात की कोई कीमत नहीं है कि आपने कितनी अच्छी बहस की. इंपॉर्टेंस इस बात की है कि जज ने क्या समझा, इसलिए क्या कहा, इसकी अहमियत नहीं है. अहमियत इस बात की है कि जिससे आप कह रहे हैं उसने क्या समझा. आईटी आज के जमाने में आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी का बहुत महत्व है. लॉ भी पढ़ रहे हैं, तब भी आप आईटी से अपने आप को पूरी तरह कन्वर्सेंट रखिए और उसमें उचित महारत हासिल कीजिए. अब मैं अपनी बात समाप्त करने पर आ रहा हूं. मुझे दिया समय भी लगभग समाप्त होने आ रहा है. हो सकता है मैंने 2-1 मिनट ज्यादा भी ले लिया हो, पर यह बात सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है लॉ स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, जो आज मैं आपसे कहने जा रहा हूं. न्यायपालिका के इतिहास में 2 ऐसे हैं जिनकी आत्मकथा, देयर ऑटोबायोग्राफी and their acts and deeds, the judgments written by them, have impressed me very much. And they are Justice Frankfurter and Justice Holmes. मैं आज आपको जस्टिस फ्रैंकफर्टर और जस्टिस होम्स के 2 पैसेज सुनाना चाहता हूं पढ़कर के यथावत, और मैं आपसे अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं कि मैं इसे धीरे धीरे पढ़ूंगा. इसके एक एक शब्द को आप बहुत ध्यान से सुनिए. फर्स्ट, आई वुड टच फ्रैंकफर्टर. A boy aged 12 years wrote to Justice Frankfurter that he was interested in taking up law as a career and sought advice to start preparing himself while he was still in junior school. Justice Frankfurter replied as follows. Please listen to this reply. No one can be a truly competent lawyer unless he is a cultivated man. If I were you, I would forget all about any technical preparation for the law. The best way to prepare for the law is to come to the study of the law as a well-read person. Thus, one can alone acquire the capacity to use English language on paper and in speech, and with the habits of clear thinking, which only a truly liberal education can give. No less important for a lawyer is the cultivation of the imaginative faculties by reading poetry, seeing great paintings on the original or in the easily available reproductions, and listening to great music. आपको अचंभा होगा, जस्टिस फ्रैंकफर्टर कह रहे हैं कि यदि आपको अच्छा वकील बनना है तो आपको पोइट्री, पेंटिंग और म्यूजिक, इसमें भी इंटरेस्ट आपको लेना पड़ेगा. Stock your mind with the deposit of much good reading and widen and deepen your feeling by experience vicariously as much as possible the wonderful mysteries and the universe, and forget all your future career. कानून पढ़ते समय ये भूल जाइए कि हमारा फ्यूचर कैरियर क्या है, पर दुनियादारी को समझिए, दुनिया के जो रहस्य हैं उनसे साक्षात्कार कीजिए, उन्हें समझिए. ये जस्टिस फ्रैंकफर्टर की एडवाइस है. अब आप देखिए उतनी ही बेशकीमती एडवाइस है जस्टिस होम्स की. Justice Holmes once said that the more the lawyers know of history and of their political, economic, social, and moral environment, the more likely is their decision to be correct. This leads to effective legal career, and then only a lawyer helps in economic, political, social, cultural, and ethical development of the law and his country. The law is not like any other faculty. Law is not like any other faculty. Rather, it is a special faculty that links other faculties under the common roof of professionalism and national development. Friends, listen to Justice Frankfurter and to Justice Holmes. आपको यदि कानून का अच्छा ज्ञाता बनना है और एज ए कैरियर लॉ में आपको सफल होना है, तो जरूरी है कि कानून के अलावा भी आप बहुत कुछ पढ़ें. इसलिए आपकी रुचि अध्ययन में होना चाहिए. आपको कविता, कहानी और उपन्यास भी पढ़ना चाहिए. आपको ट्रैवलिंग करना चाहिए और दुनिया को अधिक से अधिक समझना चाहिए. जितना आपका सामान्य ज्ञान विकसित होता चला जाएगा, उतना ही आप एक सफल वकील बनेंगे. अपने को प्रेरणा देने के लिए जो बड़े वकील, बड़े जज हुए हैं, बड़े बड़े नामी, सेतलवात, पालकीवाला, महाजन, हिदायतुल्लाह, चागला, इनकी बायोग्राफीज, ऑटोबायोग्राफीज अवेलेबल हैं. इन्हें पढ़िए, आपको प्रेरणा मिलेगी. आज ये बड़े बड़े नाम हो गए हैं, बड़े बड़े नाम जिनको मैंने अभी आप सामने नाम लिए, पर एक समय वो भी ऐसे ही लॉ के स्टूडेंट थे जैसे कि आप हैं. तो यदि ऐसे लॉ के स्टूडेंट होकर के वो पालकीवाला, सितलवात, तेज बहादुर सप्रू, सोली सोराबजी, नारीमन, सालवे, रोहतगी, अरुण जेटली हो सके, तो आप भी हो सकते हैं. इसलिए एम हाई in the profession of law. Sky is the limit. It is as deep as the ocean, but at the same time, it is as high as the sky. Read autobiographies, biographies, feel inspired, take the law seriously, and are very confident that you will be successful, not only as a student, but also as a lawyer, as a judge, as a consultant, in whatever field of the law you go. Gentlemen, I have certainly taken more than the time allotted to me, for which I beg to be excused. But one thing is certain, that I have not tried to waste your time at all. You gave me opportunity of speaking. I have shared all my feelings without any reservation with you. And I wish you all the best. My all the good wishes are with the students, and I wish them all the best in their career. Stay safe in the times of Corona. Take all the precautions and take firm determination that if I become a good lawyer, I will serve my nation, I will serve the society of which I am a member. I wish you all the best. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. We do agree that we all should aim to serve our society. We should start taking, like the youth people should also start taking interest in politics, about the diplomatic relationship which we have with our international companies and international states. And we do understand with sir, the acknowledged words and the knowledgeable resources which you have given us, the information which you have given us is somehow be going to help us in our future. Like I understand that we should not study something by considering its future replications. We just have to concentrate about on our work and think about the future later. By this, we'll be ending our guest speech. Now we'll be going to start our question and answer round. Before that, I wanted to make certain announcement. That is, we'll be giving one feedback come registration attendance link. The students who wants to get the certificate can fill the form so that they can get the certificate. The students who will not fill the attendance form will not be getting the certificates. This I wanted to everyone to amplify the announcement. For now, we will be having the question and answer round. for the first person who will be answering the question, who will be asking the question, is Mr. Sanjeev Johri, sir. We'll be unmuting you, sir. Mr. Sanjeev Johri, sir. Please be ready with your answer.
Sir, may I ask the question?
Yes, sir, you may. Yes, sir,
Yes.
you may. Thank you.
Sir, I don't know whether I should say I'm happy to say or I'm sorry to say. I have become questionless now because I have prepared certain questions during your addressing, but with every second or with every minute, I started getting my answers. So now I have become questionless. And lastly, I was becoming happy that I may ask some question regarding autobiography or biographies, but again, I don't know what to say. I got the answer to that question also. I'm extremely thankful on behalf of, at least on my behalf, I can submit that today's addressing was a wonderful experience of my life at least. And I'm very confident that other people must have shared the same kind of feeling. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Indeed, sir, we agree that every question has been answered in this session. Our guest speech was so incredible that I hardly find any scope of doubt. So with this, I would like to invite our next participant, who is Rajendra Banawat, sir, who would be asking questions. So we'll be unmuting you.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Let me at the outset, let me from the bottom of my heart that we rarely have such an opportunity of listening to such a scintillating, brilliant talk as you gave, sir. So my gratefulness to you. But as you, and I am not a student, sir, I am a retired IAS officer, but as you said, each person has a student in him and the student should be allowed to remain alive. And using that studentship of mine, I am provoked to ask you one question, sir. The clarity and simplicity with which you explained everything. But why are our laws not written in simple and clear language, sir? They are so complicated. Each sentence runs in many lines. So therefore, if I am permitted to say that the democracy of the country was by the people, for the people, and of the people. But similarly, I think we cannot say for the legal system of the country, which seems to me to have become a system of the lawyers, by the lawyers, and for the lawyers because of the complication of the law and the language which it uses. And common man becomes just a mute spectator. And therefore, so do you have something to say? The courts do deliver judgments, but justice, the common man of the country, is still waiting for the justice. When do we see a time when justice is delivered and not just judgments? Sir, maybe I may have become impolite. My apologies for that. But this is a question as a common citizen which comes to my mind each and every day. And therefore, if you can throw some light on this, maybe questions of mine, sir, I'll be very grateful. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Banawat, thank you for a very pertinent question. But strictly speaking, your question may not fall within the scope of today's subject, but yet I'll answer in a minute your question. So far as the drafting of laws is concerned, drafting of laws is the job of a highly skilled person. I gave you the example of Evidence Act, Penal Code. They were drafted 150 years before. Transfer Property Act, Civil Procedure Code. And you cannot change a comma or full stop. Then so perfect. But present day, there is a general degrading of the society that is in the field of law as well. I will not disown it. I am a man of law, man belonging to the legal field. First, the perfect draft man is yet to be born. But the way the laws are drafted in India, there is much left which is desired. I entirely agree. One. Second, there is a disconnect between the law and the common man. That is why learning the law is very important. When I was a student, In my 9th and 10th, there was used on law also. So basics of law and constitution, we were taught in 9th and 10th standard. Today, the students are not taught the law. It's not a part of curriculum. So there is a disconnect. The third thing is, so far the Delhi is concerned, Delhi and Delhi judgments, every CJI, when he assumes the office, is faced with this issue. He assures he will do something, but he cannot solve the problem. The reason is, I tell you, we need the enrichment of Indian judiciary and legal profession qualitatively and quantitatively both. The judges, the proportion of judge population, the judge population ratio is the poorest in our country. One. Secondly, you may have very good legal acumen, but one word I had said in my talk today, and I repeat it while answering the question. Every lawyer and every judge must have a spiritual bent of mind, and half of the problem will be solved. Yes, Megha, please, we can go to the next question.
Rightfully answered, sir. So next question, we have Ladhani Neha. Ladhani Neha, we will be unmuting you.
So am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So thank you so much. The session was very enlightening. But there was a question in my mind in the very start of the session when you were talking about the depth of the knowledge, the depth in the law as a career, as a field of knowledge. The question was that actually, is it law or its interpretation which has caused its depth? As interpretation, I have learned two types of interpretations, that is literal interpretation, and the second one is logical interpretation. From my point of view, it is the logical interpretation of every individual which makes it more and more deep with the coming sessions, with the coming cases, or with the coming times. So I just wanted to know your version of interpretation and how you see interpretation of law as a feature to make law a very distinguished field.
There are several principles of interpretation of statutes, several principles. First, you have to learn every principle individually. But when it comes to applying the principle of law, see, these principles are to be understood only for the purpose of training your mind. Once you have a trained mind and we are entrusted the task of interpreting a provision of law, you are not applying one principle alone. In your mind, all the principles are working together. And then, depending on the contextual reference, you lay emphasis on one principle, but do not forget other principles. And that is what is called homogeneous application of the principles of interpretation. So this is a training of mind, and by practice, you can sharpen your skills in the interpretation of statutes, and the judges of the constitutional courts, that is High Court and Supreme Court, their mind with the lapse of time gets trained, and therefore a judge of the lower court may err in interpreting a law, a legal provision, but then the High Court and the Supreme Court do not. Their interpretation is perfect. It is because of the training of their mind. As a student, you must learn the principles. Yes. Next question.
Yes, sir. For next question, we have Shikha Kaushik. Shikha Kaushik, we will be unmuting you so that you can ask the question. So, as she is not responding, the next question is from Rajendra Banawat, sir. May we please have you, sir? We will be unmuting you.
No, I have already
Yes,
asked
sir.
I have asked my question, so thank you. Thank you. I have done. Thank you.
Okay, so sir, next question we have is whether while preparing a case, the bare language of statutes and judgments are not matching, but courts blindly rely upon already decided case, then how to deflect it?
Now, here again, see, it is again the training of the mind of a judge. When a judge, I tell you the working of the mind of a judge. When a judge is faced with an issue, initially to begin with, the facts are on one side, law is on the other side. The two are kept separately. First, he embarks upon marshalling the facts. Having recorded findings of fact, then comes the question of applying the law. Even while marshalling the facts, the principles of Evidence Act, the principles of appreciation of evidence, the principle of shifting the grain from chaff have to be kept in view. Having regarded the finding of fact, then the judge applies the law to the facts. So proved facts and application of law. Therefore, the facts and law are not to be mixed. They are separate, facts are separate, law is separate, but once the facts are found, the law is applied. Yes, please. I think, Shikha, have I answered your question or there's some doubt still? This was Shikha's question, Shikha Kaushik.
No, sir, it was questions, it was an anonymous question for you.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay. So as I understand the question, I also understand it has been answered.
Okay.
So by this, sir, we will be ending our question and answer round. Though we have plenty of questions, but due to time bound, we have to end it. It was great interacting you and hearing you out, sir. So it was when you heard about the webinar and we end our webinar, and when the last process of interaction is also being done, it completes us to a successful webinar. So now, sir, we would like to, just a second, sir. So there are continuously questions from the people who wanted to ask questions, but I am really sorry we could not answer them. So now we will be calling for vote of thanks, Mr. Advocate Sambhav Ranka, sir. So we'll be unmuting Advocate Sambhav Ranka, sir, for vote of thanks.
Yes.
Yes,
thanks, Megha. Thanks, Megha. You can hear me? Yeah.
Yes. You're audible.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, sir. Honorable Mr. Justice R.C. Lahoti Sahab, former Chief Justice of India, eminent and galaxy of judges and dignitaries, lawyers, professors present on this session, and my dear friends, the students of law. It's indeed my honor to propose vote of thanks as part of this 8th N.M. Ranka Memorial Lecture Series, which is organized by Ranka Public Charitable Trust in association with the Department of Legal Studies, Banasthali Vidyapeeth, and Rajasthan Education Trust. On behalf of the entire organizing team, I would like to sincerely extend a vote of thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice R.C. Lahoti ji for your invaluable time. Sir, I can certainly say this, while hearing you, for a moment I thought that I was hearing my grandfather, Shri N.M. Ranka ji, for the kind of inspirations we got from him. You have given such important lessons in your speech that will undoubtedly inspire and motivate all the students and ensure that they are on the right path. Sir, you aptly said, "Thokar koi aur khata hai aur seekhta lawyer hai." By experience, we know absolutely what your underlying statement is. None other than you could have been apt given the topic of this session today. Sir, the kind of practical experiences you shared while you were a student of law are a gold mine, as I take it, for all the students of law. The learnings on reading again and again, making notes, usage of illustrations, making comparative tables, doing discussions in groups, sharp intellect, communication skills are a perfect way forward and certainly to achieve the desired results. So I would want to add that such experiences are not only relevant and helpful for the students, but even for all the lawyers and seniors and other practitioners as well. We all have certainly gained a lot by hearing you today. Your insights and your words of wisdom that you articulated during this session, sir, will go a long way for all the participants here. We extend our kindest gratitude and warmest regards to you for gracing us. It was an absolute pleasure and privilege to hear you, sir. A deep sense of appreciation and gratitude goes out to all the judges, luminaries, eminent personalities, professors, and lawyers who devoted their time towards this session and who have been present for this lecture series. When this lecture series started, we never thought that we will soon reach to the 8th lecture of the series. Your presence has given the team the impetus to continue hosting this monthly lecture series with greater enthusiasm. We kindly appreciate each one of you for devoting your time and making this session a successful one. I want to express my gratitude to the Department of Legal Studies, Banasthali Vidyapeeth, and Rajasthan Education Trust. Thank you for your valuable support, and we look forward to your continued involvement for future events. The backbone to this event are the ever enthusiastic and the passionate bunch of students without whom this event would not have been possible. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Megha, Parth, and to each one of the entire organizing team who have worked tirelessly to bring up this event for all of us. The primary source of inspiration behind this lecture series is Dr. Shri N.M. Ranka. He was an avid motivator to the young professionals and students of law. He continues to be the guiding light for this lecture series. With this, once again, I am most grateful and thankful to Honorable Justice Shri R.C. Lahoti ji and everyone present on this lecture series for making it a learning success. It has been a great pleasure to host you all this evening. Be safe and be well. Thank you. Megha?
Thank you, sir, for such words. Now I would like to call Honorable Mr. Justice D.K. Ranka, sir, to end the webinar.
Nothing to add after such a illustrious talk by Honorable Justice R.C. Lahoti sir. I have no words how to express and thank him for in the way he has conveyed to the students. Not only students, we have also been benefited to a large extent as Manavat Sahab has conveyed and other dignitaries. Thank you from the core of my heart, sir. You have been so kind and your blessing should continue with us and the students at all times to come. Just for the benefit of students, the next lecture would be by Honorable my sister Justice Bela M. Trivedi, who was a judge of Rajasthan High Court and now a judge of the Gujarat High Court on 12th June 2021, which may be noted by the students and information would be given in due course of time. Thank you once again, all the dignitaries who have joined with us. So many names I have already mentioned, and I would fail if I do not name other dignitaries. Thank you once again, all. It's nice being with you all, and so gracefully it has been concluded. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Pranam. Jai Hind.